This is the House of Boom podcast. I'm your host, Eric Boom Salvery. Before we get started, I want to give a shout out to our sponsor at Clean Everything LLC, the best doing it in the tri-state. If you find them on Instagram at Clean Everything NJ, tell them Boom sent you get 10% off your first cleaning. Listen, today I got a really dope guest. As y'all know, I won the red carpet host of the Newark International Film Festival, and the beautiful thing is you get to interview tons of people on the red carpet. I met this young man on the red carpet. He really told me about some of the inspirations for the film and that he did. He wrote, he acted, he produced it, the whole nine. And then a few days later, that vibe echoed on the award stage as I got to announce him as the winner of the Youth Awards at the Newark International Film Festival. Now, the reason I thought it was important to really bring this guy on is because he gave me the most official dap when he won. I think he was fully surprised. I don't think he was expecting that he was going to win the award. I mean, the man dapped me up. It was so official. I said, "Nah, you coming on the pod." You know what I mean? As we know, our producer Baif, Sir Dappington. Can I tell you how official this dap was?
Yes.
I mean, this dap was like, you know what I mean? And I was like, it felt so genuine. It was like, yo, this is official. But the beautiful thing is that when you experience something genuine, you want to build off that energy and continue to help that person grow. So he's my guest today. Noah, what's going on?
What's going on? How you doing, Unc?
Too cool. I'm also been dubbed Unc.
Yeah, you Unc Boom for real.
I'm Uncle Boom. I got a lot of nieces and nephews, so now I got another one. I don't mind being somebody's uncle, but I better be invited to the cookout. That plate better be official.
Right.
That's a fact.
And your Anna's here with you.
Hey.
So she better make something. That macaroni better be.
Oh, man.
That macaroni.
My pasta salad is off the chain.
The pasta salad's off the
Yeah,
chain.
we throw a little chicken, throw a little shrimp in there. You gonna like it.
Okay. So Uncle Boom is here
Yes,
with
sir.
no. What's going on? How you feeling today? What's going on? What's going on in your world?
Honestly, I'm feeling great. Real talk. Like I just put out Outcast on its first streaming platform yesterday, and it's actually doing pretty well.
What streaming platform is that?
Vimeo.
Okay.
You know, you go right up to my Instagram and you can find it right there. You know, so many people have been watching it and spreading so much love, and it's just like I wasn't even planning on releasing it at first. It was just gonna be a film festival kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It was just gonna be film festival. All the people who needed to see it saw it anyway. You know, to get me where I am now. So it was just kind of like I didn't really see the significance of releasing it, but I'm just like, it couldn't hurt, you know?
Well, I would like to say that it might not hurt because right now, I believe with the strikes going on in Hollywood and all that else is going on in the world, people are going to be looking for content. So that's a good thing that you were able to just have the courage to release that. Before we get into like all that you got going on, what was it like to have you watch your movie on the big screen and just, you're at a movie theater, there are people in attendance, it's a lot going on that week. What was that like?
That is a really good question. Honestly, I'm still processing it in a way.
Okay.
Because prior to the Newark IFF, I had a film festival at school. You know, the Arts High School Film Festival. Shout out Arts, you already know, Arts Jaguars. So it was already a big thing. It was the thing that I was most preparing myself for. Because honestly, I wasn't even sure if I was going to get into Newark IFF. So, you know, glory be to God. And, you know, Mr. Kenneth, he came in super clutch, you know, and helped me get to, to the big screen again. And honestly, once you reach theaters, there is no bigger screen. You know, there's no bigger screen than that. Like, it's the big screen. It's classified as the big screen. And then after that, it's Hollywood pretty much. So it's like, to see it on the big screen, it was definitely unreal. Because I was like, yo, that's my work. And then, of course, I'm in the crowd making all these little critiques to my own film. Like, nah, that's not strong enough. I need that to come in better.
Okay.
And like, I know for the next film festival kind of thing. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah, it felt like that.
Did you have a lot of friends and family in attendance?
Yes, my nana, cousins,
It was packed.
auntie, daddy. Yeah, it was a lot of people there. It was a lot of people there,
Okay.
especially from family. Family who I haven't seen in a long time, so it was pretty dope. You know, something creative brought a lot of my family together, and I honestly didn't expect that.
What was your reception from them like after like seeing it and just being able? Because I'll be honest with you, families can be the hardest critics. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
'Cause- the interesting thing about that is that you know like how people think. Like you know how it's like you got that one cousin you like I ain't asking him because he always a hater, or you got that one auntie that's just gonna always give you the biased love, like she just gonna love your stuff anyway just because you doing something, but you like you don't really
I ain't
know.
that
Yeah, you that aunt.
Nah, I'm not.
Okay, but you always got different family members. So how did you feel like? Because I think that's tougher than actually putting it out
Yeah.
to a complete stranger.
Honestly, my family in terms of critiques were pretty dope. I didn't really receive any harsh critiques from my family. The main people who the critiques were a little crazy from was people at school. Because the people at school, they don't really understand the concepts. They don't really know why you put it together, and they don't really know the backstory behind it. They're kind of just looking at it as what it is, receiving it as a film. You get what I'm saying? So kind of the critics that I was most worried about was at school. I wasn't necessarily too worried about my family
Okay.
because they already knew the premise of the movie, where the movie came from, what it meant to me. So, it's hard to really judge something that's so personal to someone else. And honestly, I got to introduce to my family a very personal part of me that they haven't really got to see.
Okay, so you in writing this film and putting it together, you added elements of your own life into the story.
Absolutely. I could say the entire film is probably about 75% accurate to my real life, just dramatized.
Okay, okay. You touched on some really important subjects. I'm not going to give anything about it because I want people to go see it. But one dynamic that stood out to me was the relationship between father and son. Um, can you talk about that? Expand on that. Was it something between your dad, or was it something that you hoped for with your dad? What's going on with that?
It was honestly a little bit of everything. Just having that relationship with my dad and, just growing up, as my dad's son. It was like a lot of that went into the film with essentially your pops being your worst enemy because that's he's your dad. He's the first man in your life. You get what I'm saying? And honestly, and then even as men in today's society, we're growing up and we're trying to, be the best we possibly can. And then your pops is like the first person who you can really be like, that's my dad. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no beating pops.
Right.
So it was kind of to break that archetype in a way.
Was that actually your dad in the movie?
Yes, sir. That was
Okay.
actually my father.
Wow. Okay. So, as you were putting this together and writing it, obviously he had to go from "I'm your dad" to "I'm playing your dad," which is probably a little bit different. So, how was that energy between you guys as you were going through putting the movie together?
It was actually really, really fun. I got to see my dad take on a really dark archetype. If you like, for those who watch the film, you get to see my dad really take on a dark archetype, and it was actually pretty dope to see him in that light, because I knew that side of him could really come out in this role in a positive way,
Okay.
and really, really, create a positive effect on the screen, and something that could really, get people like out of their seats, like, yo, this dude's so evil, So it's basically like that, and being essentially the turning point in my dad's, ideologies and on film, it was actually really, really dope being able to prove, whatever my character needed to prove for him. For I don't want to spoil it, being able to prove whatever no one needed to prove to him. Yeah, honestly.
No, I think that's really dope. You have a lot of different qualities going on in this film. Did you grab different classmates to get this done, or what were these like random just people? Or
No, every character was well thought out.
okay,
From their names to their appearance to their mannerisms, how they talked, how they act. Every single one of those characters in this story had a certain role in my life that translated to their real life role in some way, shape, or form.
okay.
Even if it wasn't 100% accurate, that's the person I could see in that role.
Okay.
And it was written around them.
Okay, that's really dope. Um, I would ask, you have this movie is drawn inspiration from a cult classic, which is
The Last Dragon.
The Last Dragon. What elements about that movie intrigued you to be like, nah, I wanna kind of, I don't even want to know, I don't even want to call it, you could almost call your movie a sequel to The Last Dragon, but we'll get there
Leroy nephew.
huh?
Leroy nephew.
Yeah, Leroy Nephew or something like that. or his other cousin. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what elements about that movie did you like? And you said, nah, I would like to see if I can tell a story in a different way.
Honestly, growing up, I watched Last Dragon religiously. So it was something I could watch every day, 3 times a day, never get bored, never never get tired of it, just something I could watch religiously. So over time that arc kind of stuck. So whenever I thought about a martial arts movie, Bruce Leroy was always the first person that pops up in my head. So when I was writing that, that was one of my greatest influences. And Leroy's quest in general was just so interesting because of how he chose his own path and he didn't really allow anyone to stray him away from that. He kind of did what he, thought was right, did what he wanted to do. And in the end, he ended up getting a girl, having a better relationship with his brother, and defeating a great evil. That sounds beautiful to me. Don't that sound beautiful to you?
Right. I definitely. Actually, one of my homies, shout out to L. We used to call him Bruce Leroy. And he grew up in East Orange as well. Beautiful thing about today's podcast is that everybody on here, including producer Baifa, is from EO. So, what is it about your movie that whether it's East Orange or Newark, that you decided I want to bring those elements into the film? Because you could have told this from a different suburban point of view. You could have told this from I don't know, somewhere in it's a martial arts film. You could have tried to tell it from Asian point of view.
Yeah.
Talk about it.
Considering I wanted to honor where I came from, because that's one of the biggest parts about being an actor, director. You always want to pay tribute to the parts and the elements that made you who you are. You never want to forget about, where you came from or who you came from, the people who you used to talk to, the people who you used to, converse with, hang out with. You never want to forget, because all of that is a part of your essential character development, how it shaped your life today. Yeah, I never wanted to forget where I came from. So those elements had to be present in the movie, because without it, I wouldn't be bringing my authentic self to that movie.
How was it? How do you feel to not only be able to be the person who writes it, I guess in some way produces it, and stars in the movie? Like, how, was that difficult for you? Even though because we talked about a little bit off screen about you meant this for another film festival, but then it decided to change your creative view. Then Newark IFF came through for you,
Yeah.
but you could have easily just wrote it, produced it, or directed, and just had somebody else play the roles.
Because honestly, no one I feel can play me like I can play me. I couldn't see anyone else in the role as me, even if they looked like me, had similar mannerisms. Like, no one could play me like me. I will play me in the most authentic way as anyone can play me. You know what I'm saying? So, and since the Outcast story was so personal to me, I didn't really feel comfortable giving the role of Noah Shadow to anybody else except myself.
Okay, so now when you grow from here, how you gonna overcome that? Because you're not always gonna be able to
Yeah.
write you into somebody else or have somebody else be you.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. So I was actually thinking about this last night. It's funny that you bring this up. I was thinking about this last night, like how am I gonna move forward as a director and a writer, etc. Just write stories that don't really relate to my life too much. This was my first film, so therefore it was my most personal film. It was my film where I was like, okay, it's time to break out. You're gonna show the world who you are. That's what this film was for, to break out of my creative shell, break out of the anxiety, bring out the confidence. Everything about me that was meant to come out in this film showcased. Now I'm sure of who I am. I'm sure of what I do, so I can move forward without being a star and just direct something or just write something.
And just so the streets know, how old are you again?
I'm 16 years old. Well, 16 and a half. I'm going to be 17 in 2 months.
There you go. And 16 years old. And what grade are you in?
I'm in 12th grade. Well, going into the 12th grade.
Okay.
Summer.
Well, going into the 12th grade and representing what high school again?
Arts High School.
Okay, there you go. Arts High School. So you were able to put this film together, but you didn't do it all by yourself.
No.
You had the help of your road dog here, or I shouldn't go. You refer to you as a dog. No, but your road aunt here.
Right, roll on.
Your road aunt. Talk about your relationship with her and how did it help you in this movie?
Honestly, my aunt provided me a lot of counsel, especially, in dealing with certain emotions about, certain things, even if they were just personal, with friends, family. She gave me a lot of counsel, and that kept me level-headed throughout this entire process. Because I'm not going to lie, the work process, although it was fun and I enjoyed it, it was very tedious. Like, I really had to lock in, and I made tons of sacrifices for this. So my aunt essentially helped me see the reality of the situation and keep my head leveled in a positive light, so I could even carry out something like Outcast.
Okay, let's give Auntie some love. Introduce her so everybody knows who she is.
Hey guys, this is my aunt. This is my aunt Crystal. You heard Auntie.
Y'all.
Hey y'all, so Aunt Crystal, you had a role in this movie.
Yes, sir.
How did it feel to be able to help bring his dream, this first part of his dream, to life?
Um, it comes natural, to be honest. Me and Marvin has had a very special relationship since he was a baby. And we've had like a very close bond since he was a baby. So I'm a creative. Always been a creative since I was a kid. So just kind of him growing up around me and his dad, we're very, I told you we went to a performing arts school. So we're creative
Give him a
people.
shout out if you want.
Oh, yeah. Well, his dad is.
No. The school you went
Oh,
to.
yes. So I graduated from VLD, a.k.a. Cicely Tyson.
There you go.
So, it's a performing arts school. So, yes, I'm a creative, and I've been a creative since I was a little girl. It's a huge part of my identity. So it was just only natural that, my nephew, he was raised around us. So he kind of picked up those creative attributes. And, of course, I was gonna support him, no doubt about it.
Okay. Speak to your character in this film. How did you feel? I guess him writing you into this movie, and how did it relate? This is like, because he talked about he writes around characters,
Right.
and he saw you as his role. So talk about that a little bit.
So it just to kind of piggyback off of what he says, I'm like his counselor in his life, when he's going through something, when he's trying to navigate through his feelings and just do things in life, he calls me. So I'm a little bit different from his dad. Of course, I'm a woman, so my advice is going to be a little bit more softer, gentler. And you see that in the movie. His dad is giving him that hard advice, that manly advice. And for me, I'm more so on the lighter side as his counsel, more, I guess, like the feminine energy in his life. So that's our relationship in real life. So he put that in the movie. He made me into this healer / counselor. So I got healing powers. I make tea that heals. I don't know if you peeped that in the movie where he's all busted up and then he drinks the tea and all of a sudden it heals his face.
Probably some sea moss in there.
Right.
But
Just, play on real life things because I'm all about organic and drinking teas and healing and keeping the body.
so he wrote
Look
you
at
to
you
a
see
T.
me laughing at me?
He wrote you to a T.
Yeah, so that's how he sees me.
So did you really have to act in this movie?
Honestly, it felt like I was myself, to be quite honest. So
Okay.
really wasn't too much acting going. It was a very easy role for me to play.
That's what's up. You're not just, it's interesting because you're creative too. Talk about a little bit more about what you do, because I've met you before.
Right,
but I
right.
want the people to know what you.
Okay, so when we met, I was a photographer. I was just getting into photography. But writing has always been my primary thing. I've been writing since I was a little kid. Started off writing music, and then I started writing stories. So I'm an author. Like I have like 5 published books.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Talk about it. What did it.
okay, well my biggest novel is called Side Sweeper, so it's a series.
Okay.
So it's assassination. It's a book about a hit woman who has a salon that she covers up for a hit operation, and they primarily take out side chicks. So you already know.
Oh wow, that sounds like a movie.
Oh, that we working on it.
Okay.
We're working on it. So I've taken my writing from books to film. So I also played a role in helping my nephew write Outcast. He did most of the writing. I can't take credit for that. But one thing I'm really good with is ideas. So I helped him come up with the idea, and then it automatically sparked in him, and because he got that
Ran with
leader, he got that leader action foot energy. He put the work in.
Wow. I just want to be in this movie too. All right.
Which one? Outcast 2 or Side Sweepers?
Wait,
Which
wait.
one you
So
want?
wait. Just the hit woman. Just is the leader of the hit. Are the people who do the hits? Are they all women or is it just?
They all women.
I'm just saying. I would have loved to be like, but the hitman. But it's all.
You could be
good.
one of the husbands.
There you go.
Side chicks is out of here. I'll just let you know right now.
Black men don't cheat though. This is
no.
true. Nah, it's all good. I'll be one of the husbands. I'll be one of the husbands.
One of the police officers. You got that. You got that whole.
Oh, you know what? I could be a reoccurring police officer.
Okay.
Because he said in Outcast 2, I get to be a cop.
Yeah, you could be one.
And
of
then they
them.
could be in the same universe. I'm just saying.
That's
I'm
fire.
just saying. But no, that sounds dope. I definitely would look forward to those projects.
Okay.
The producer, Baif, you got any bullets? Is he ready to go? I do. Okay, so we are producer segment question brought to you by Clean Everything LLC. Remember, you tell them, boom, sent you get 10% off. And now, I'm going to hand the mic over to producer Baif as he gets his producer segment question off. Hashtag producer Baif, no flowers. Hashtag the lyrical lotus giver. Hashtag Sir Dappington.
Sir Dappington the third.
The floor is yours, my brother.
I appreciate it. First and foremost, congratulations.
Thank you.
As a Newark Film Festival alum, I know the process is unexpected, interesting, crazy, all at the same time. What as a arts high, because arts high definitely talk big talk. My guy that I did the film with is also from arts high. Shout out to Raphael Gordon. We did a whole documentary off of one of his books, which is number 20 something or whatever now. But as a student in the game, as a student of the game, what gems would you give somebody else who's looking at you at 16, accomplishing what you're accomplishing? What advice would you give to the younger ones who are looking up to you in this space?
That's a really good question. Honestly, for anyone who's, in terms of if they're looking for advice, they're looking up to me, I'd say stay consistent and believe in your own abilities. Stay consistent and believe in your own abilities. I can't stress this enough. And in a big way to believe in your own abilities, even if you don't, is pray. Pray. Prayer was my best friend. God was my best friend. I promise you, he will not let you down. Believe in your own abilities, and if you can't do that, pray. That's the first step to get there. And stay consistent at what you do. Don't stop. If you're filming, don't stop. I started filming when I was like, 6? I was filming with my younger brother. We would film on anything that had a camera. And we just create wonderful things that we shouldn't even had been able to process at our age. We create awesome things. So keep consistent, stay on your grind. That's the advice I'd give anyone who's looking up to me.
Grind season. That's right. That's right above your head. The process is the process. What is one thing about this process that you learned that you like, I need to get better at? And then what is one thing that surprised you about this process is that, I'm good there?
Honestly, one thing about this process that I do need to get a whole lot better at is time management. Time management has not been kind to me because I would have 1,000 things on my brain, 1,000 ideas, 1,000 things to think about, 1,000 critiques I want to make last minute, but I just got to tell myself, stop. Just stop for a second and get back to where you need to be versus where you think you should be right now. And then one thing that surprised me that I was actually pretty good at was, in all actuality, leading a project in every way. As the writer, the director, the lead actor, leading a project. is what surprised me. It was my first time leading a project. It was my first time directing, an actual project. And, it was essentially, because I was originally a vocal major when I got to arts for my first 2 years.
Okay.
And then when my junior year hit, thanks to my principal, I managed to change to a television production major. So it was kind of like my debut as a television production major. So in a sense, I had something to prove. For all these people who sacrificed to get me in this major, out the major that I didn't want to be in, and into the new one that I wanted to be in, I essentially had something to prove. And I had to let them know, like, look, this is what we're going to do, and we're going to do it gracefully. And that's exactly what I did. So leading that whole project and being able to execute that to the degree I did, that was surprising.
Okay. That's really dope. Growing up, now this is a pseudo superhero movie. We talked about The Last Dragon being an inspiration, but who are your go-tos? Who are your, like, all right, I like this character, I like that character, comic book, whatever, graphic novels, whatever floats your boat.
Honestly, to answer that question the right way, I'm going to just start by going off characters who I can relate to the most.
Okay.
So I can start by saying Miguel Diaz from Cobra Kai, Eric Killmonger from Black Panther.
Look, just turn around.
See, you already know. Eric Killmonger from Black Panther, Adonis Creed, shout out Michael B. Jordan, Arts alumni. Who else? And Miles Morales, coincidentally. Miles Morales, yeah.
Okay, you gonna give it a shot if when they do the live action, because that's coming next with the Miles Morales. You got to at least audition. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'll audition. I got you.
There you go. Highlight, I guess Disney. I don't know. Hopefully the actor strike is over by then. But that's really dope. Mine's were, see, I'm an '80s baby, so I was Transformers. He-Man, Bionic 6. You don't know about that one.
What even is that?
You gotta Google it. Bionic 6.
What even is that?
You gotta watch the Bionic 6.
I don't know a Bionic nor a 6.
Bionic 6. Yep. X-Men. Then the X-Men wave came. I wasn't an Avengers guy. The Avengers actually was like B team. That's what's so interesting about how things are flipped. But I was always like X-Men, Wolverine, all that. And then obviously Wolverine was one of my favorite. Bishop was one of my favorite. Black Panther, I came late in the game for me, but Static Shock was on my list.
Static Shock.
And who else? Static Shock. Batman though, but the animated series though.
Yeah.
Batman from the animated series grew my fandom into the rest of the lore. You know what I mean? And so, but I had, like, when I was growing up, I was stacks of comic books, stuff like that. You seem like you were a comic book fan or fantasy. No?
Nah,
Barbie girl?
I was definitely a Barbie girl.
Okay.
Heavy Barbie girl. But crazy.
Sailor Moon at least?
Nah.
Okay.
I was only girly with Barbie, but music was my thing growing up, and I
Okay.
liked tomboyish, edgy artists like Aaliyah, Missy Elliott, Total.
Okay.
People, I wasn't a big girly girl
Okay.
singer. I like a little edge, so
Okay.
that's where I kind of developed, a little bit of my, I guess, swag from.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Like you got that little pinch of spice in there. So
Got you.
Yeah.
Who you like musically?
Michael Jackson too, number one.
I mean, actually, that wouldn't be surprising because if you go, The Last Dragon is in your taste wheel, then you gotta have some love for the old school.
Yeah, 100%. Honestly, my top 3 musically,
Okay.
I would definitely have to give it to Michael Jackson.
This is all time?
All time.
Okay.
Top
great.
3 musically. Michael Jackson, Bruno Mars,
Okay.
and this third one. Favorite rapper has got to either be X.
DMX?
XXX.
Come on,
Tentacion.
16.
I'm just saying. X.
X.
He's 16. You should have known he was talking about Generations, whatever that guy name is.
He was raised by good people.
Right.
That's all that means.
Yeah.
He lived in the 90s.
Right.
Even though he ain't lived in the 90s.
Right. So when you say X, you gotta understand X means something to a different generation.
That's true. That's
so
true.
when you said, like, let me find out.
Yeah, XXX Tentacion or Honestly, I'd have to go with Kendrick Lamar as well.
Okay, that's a respectable
Yeah.
respectable list. That's a respectable.
Yes, sir.
You know, Baif used to be a rapper too.
Used to be a rapper.
Looked like he was like a conscious
Yeah.
rapper. J.
Wow.
Cole
Was that on?
vibe.
Was that? Uno point. Wow.
Oh, so you were a conscious rapper. Ah, y'all could tell. Yeah. That's good. It's the best rappers.
Yeah.
My rap name was Awaz
I wise.
until I changed it to my actual name. So
Okay.
So we got all. How does music play a part in your filmmaking?
Whew. I have to see the film. I have to see the scene musically in my head before anything. So if I'm writing out an idea and I'm thinking about the scene in my head, I'm automatically thinking about the music for it. Like, where have I heard that song before? What sounds do I want to use? What instruments do I think would come into play? Do I want more of an orchestral vibe or a more somber vibe? I have to hear it in my head before anything. And then I'll just go what sounds closest to what I hear in my head.
Is James Gunn in your wheelhouse of directors that you like, seeing that like he designs like a lot of his comic book and Guardians of the Galaxy, all that stuff around like a lot of music and stuff like that?
Essentially, yes, because music sets the tone. I'm gonna be honest with you. Outcast wouldn't be Outcast without the music. The music plays such a, like, when you watch it, the music plays such a big role in that movie. It's like the music, it really, really makes you feel what's going on.
You know, I keep saying look behind you, but then look at the picture that's below Killmonger.
Yep.
Outcast.
Oh,
That's funny.
that's
Is
crazy.
he? That wasn't done on purpose, like, but I just
That's Andre 3000 from
it.
Outcast. That's
But
crazy.
yeah, man. So what do you see yourself? What do you want to do like in the future? Is it just like something that is a now thing? Obviously, you don't know where you're going to be, but obviously you got to make plans. So is it something that it's like, I really want to take this as far as it can go? Do you want to shoot music videos? Do you want to like talk about the whole thing?
Honestly, in terms of, I'm gonna start with acting. In terms of acting, I'm flooring it. I'm flooring it right now. Like, pedal to the metal. I'm going as hard as I possibly can.
Okay.
As an actor, you know, and who knows what can happen in the next year before I graduate, you know. So that's honestly leaving me very, very optimistic about where I'm gonna end up, because I feel like it's definitely gonna be good, and giving I have good representation behind me. Gregory Osborne, you the man, you know what I'm saying? It's my manager. I have great representation behind me and a strong support system. So honestly, I have no doubts that I'll end up somewhere absolutely amazing by the time I graduate.
Okay.
So acting, flooring it for sure. And in terms of photography and videography, that would be good as like a side hustle. You know, if I ever need to make some bread, like I should never be broke. You know what I mean? I should never be broke as long as I have
that.
my camera. I should never be broke, period.
I like that.
You know, there's always somebody who's gonna need some pictures taken of something.
Okay.
Whether it's online products, newborn babies, all kinds of stuff. There's plenty of hospitals. There's plenty of hospitals, man.
I'll say this on camera, but you know, producer Vaif is looking for an intern. So if you want to learn some stuff.
100%. I'm down to learn whatever.
Right. It's on camera, so you accountable now.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah.
But if you had to make I don't know, Outcast 3, and there's a budget, like a big budget, a big studio or whatever, maybe you GoFundMe and raised a whole bunch of money to really get some red eye cameras in there and all that stuff. Who would you want to be in your movie? Like celebrity, even somebody who's on the come up. Who would you want to be in
I
there?
could pick anybody.
Yeah, you could pick anybody.
Woo! All right. Time Mac, top one. Bruce Leroy for sure.
Okay.
Time Mac. He has to at least be in there as like my spiritual guide or something. Like he got to be in there for
Super
something.
Sensei.
Right,
Super
it's only
Sensei,
right.
something. The sensei of my sensei.
Yeah.
He
like
got to be
that.
like my Mr. Miyagi or something, because in all actuality, he Time Mac, man. Like,
Right.
let me see the second one. It definitely would have to be Michael B. Jordan for sure.
Okay.
And I'm not even just saying this because he came from arts. Like, Michael B. Jordan is honestly, as an actor, one of my greatest influences. You know, he's so humble. He's so humble. You know, his swag. He never allows people to tell him what, you know, he's gonna do. He does what he has to do. You know what I'm saying? He does it very well. You get what I'm saying? So Michael B. Jordan is one of my greatest influences. So definitely Michael B. Definitely him. Let me see. Who else? Who else? I would definitely hire as writers along with me.
Okay.
I would hire the big three: Josh Heald, Hayden Schlasberg, and John Hurwitz. Those are the big three who created Cobra Kai.
Okay.
I would definitely hire them as my writers for sure. Like
Okay.
to write this series along with me. That's a personal dream of mine to write with those three, because those three are some absolute juggernauts. Have you watched Cobra Kai?
I watched a little bit of the first season. I didn't get to go like further into. I like Marvel, DC, Star Wars, as you can see, stuff like that. So it's hard to get your attention as stay 16 for a while, because when you grow up you got bills and stuff to pay for.
Yeah.
So you only pick you can only pick certain things. But I did watch it. I definitely a couple of episodes.
Absolutely. Very last person would have to be Martin Cove.
Okay, who's that? I don't know who Martin Cole is.
Martin Cove is Sensei Kreese in the Karate Kid movies.
Okay.
He's Johnny Sensei.
Okay.
He'd have to be the villain in Outcast 3.
Okay.
He just has to be. It's inevitable. He has to be the villain in Outcast 3. He has to be. And then the very last person on the list, last but certainly not least, Uncle Boom. You gotta be the third movie, man.
I'm the cop. I'm the boys. I'm 12 or 5, however you say it.
5.
5. I got 5 on it. It's funny. Michael B. Jordan. I've met him a couple times. He is so Jersey. I remember one time I was in New Orleans. I forget what year this was, and there's a hotel down there, and a casino. I'm sorry, and we're coming through the casino, me and my boy, and we see somebody off in the distance. It's like, yo, y'all know what Lowe's is? And me and my boy look at each other like, the movie theater? And he's like, y'all must be from Jersey, huh? I look up, I'm like, B. Jordan? What you doing out here? I'm like, yo, this dude is so Jersey. And then he's always, like you said, a humble guy. Seen him at the All-Star game. I've seen him a couple times when he was up here at the Cityplex 12 where your movie premiered. So how about that? You were in a rare air. Your movie played at the same movie theater as B. Jordan's movie played. So you're on your way. But
Right on the way.
it's definitely a good list of people to go to. So hey, listen, Outcast 3. We might have some things going for you. And like I said, are you paying attention to like what's going on in Hollywood right now?
Honestly, that's what I have my manager and my aunt for. I kind of mainly just stay in my own lane and do what I got to do, and they fill me in on all the information I need to know in regards to the logistics behind everything.
Okay.
I just focus on getting the content made.
No, it's interesting because the beautiful thing about where you are as an independent filmmaker, creator, and all that other stuff is, like I said at the beginning, you may just end up having to be able to find somebody who wants to greenlight your stuff, because there's going to be a lot of room until they get all that stuff figured out in Hollywood. There's going to be a lot of room for independent filmmakers to really just raise up. And so, stick to it, you know what I mean? And make sure that you're keeping that pen hot.
Oh, it's hot. All right.
And like you said, what did he say today? I just finished writing Outcast 2. I'm like,
yeah, Outcast 2. That's done.
Yeah.
I'm gonna format the script this weekend.
Okay.
Because I usually have 3 phases to writing.
Okay,
I
talk
have the
about it.
storyboard first. Get all my ideas out, and then I have to outline about how I want it to play out and which exact order I want it to play out. And then the very last thing I do, once I got the storyboard and the outline published, I go straight to the script. The script writing begins, and that determines how big the movie actually is gonna be. That determines how long it's gonna be and how long it's gonna take me to finish that script. So once I'm done with the script, I start casting. I figure out how many people I need for each fight scene. I figure out how many people I need for this scene, extras, etc. How many shots I'm gonna need, because I do my scripts in like 5 different categories. You gotta have B-roll, you gotta have shot lists. Like, I wanna make things as convenient as possible for anyone I work with. That's one of the biggest things about me in terms of being a director. I wanna make things as convenient as possible for my actors, for cinematographers, for people who just coming on to assist. I wanna make things as easy as possible.
Okay.
Simply because, you gotta account for other people's time. Especially if it's an independent film, you gotta account for other people's time. You gotta make it convenient for them and make it easy for them. You know what I'm saying? And that's another reason why I casted so strategically, because I could simply just say, be yourself. And that would suffice.
Wow. That's smart. That's smart. He just dropped a nugget. And so for any young filmmakers, make sure y'all pay attention to it, because he's just been giving out nuggets all day. I'll tell you, any last words, anything that you want to get out there beyond
I mean, I already shouted out the book. Be looking out for the film that's in the works, Side Sweepers. But is there anything you want to ask me?
Nah, we good. Side sweep. All I want to know is I want to make sure. Matter of fact, me and Baif need to both be in a room. So
We got FBI agents.
Oh,
We got police officers.
okay.
Who else we got? We got the husbands, because y'all are married to the women that's actually hiring the hit woman.
Okay.
I can't be a dude with a side chick.
No.
Oh, okay.
Now you know what it is. You know how sometimes like the series or the movies, they got that one poet opening up the movie and he giving some random poem that's like related to the movie, but it's not. Nobody
Okay.
know what he talking about. That's gonna be by with a beanie on.
Okay. I actually do have something to say to the young people.
Go ahead.
I think this was essential to, anyone that's trying to be a creative or trying to find their thing. Because I feel like when you're talented, you have a lot of different things you can do, or some people, they don't know what they should be doing. What I want to say is, I give this advice to everybody that comes to me for counsel, is do something that you do every day, that you don't have to think about it. You just do it naturally. And no matter what it is or how ridiculous it may seem, that's your thing. For example, my nephew, I hope you don't mind me telling him this, but since he was a kid, he loved movies, right? Loved movies, used to quote movies. Like, no, he could quote a whole movie verbatim.
What's the first quote that comes in your head right now? I'm putting you on the spot.
Honestly, first quote that comes to my head is, "Am I the meanest? So no.
So no.
Am I the prettiest? So no." Yeah, that's the first one that comes. First
Okay.
one.
So he used to quote movies in there.
Yeah, that's his thing. And he originally, like he said, he went to Arts High for vocal. So he was singing. So after a while, he didn't really feel the same passion for it anymore. And he was kind of worried, like, I don't know what I'm passionate about now. And I don't know, what I should be doing. And I'm like, yes, you do. Like, what? I'm like, you love movies. You do that all day long. You quote movies, you critique movies randomly. He'd start talking about a movie. And I'm like, that's your thing. And now look at where he is today. So sometimes it could be the smallest thing, but if you're doing it all day long, effortlessly, that's your thing. And you can find a way to do it and to profit from it, or, just to evolve it.
No, it's a fact. Because even for myself, when you talking about that, I thought about how I became a photographer.
Yeah.
Now I learned on the fly how to use a camera.
Right.
But I've been taking pictures my whole life. I used to go get the disposable cameras.
Okay.
And every trip, I would like have the pictures. I remember my grandmother had like an old school camcorder back in the day. And then even to this day, my mom had buckets of pictures
Okay.
of just like old stuff. And it's still in my house, like collecting dust a little bit, whatever. But I would just go through and just look at the pictures all the time.
Yeah.
And so in a way, I naturally was just looking at like stuff, different images, black and white images,
Right.
stuff. And then, like I said, when I would go on trips and stuff, get the disposable camera, and I would be the one at the pharmacy, like, all right, is it done yet? Is it done yet? Like, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And then eventually, I learned how to become a photographer and stuff like that. So it's definitely what you're saying. Some merit to what you're saying. And it became natural. It wasn't something I forced
Right.
or contrived. Um, I want to go back to a moment for you before you get out of here. What was that moment like when you heard your name and found out you won? Like, walk us through that. Because it was, like I said, I talked about it on the video when we did the recap, but I want to hear it from your point of view.
Honestly, when you called my name, I was like, wait, hold up. I, I'm just smitten. I'm like, this can't be real right now. I had to snap my fingers a couple of times to make sure I wasn't dreaming or something like that. Because when I came to the award show, I was like, I was chilling, chilling. Not really too worried about really much anything. I was just laid back. I was cooling, enjoyed the music, and then when I heard my name called right after Tavayas Trivialon, after he accepted his award, and I heard my name called, I was just like, whoa, wow, like, wow, like I have nothing to say, like, thank you.
Shot.
And the only, like, honestly, God is good. That's all I could really say at that moment in time. Like, the only thing that was really on my mind was God. In all actuality, God was the only thing on my mind at that moment. Like, God is good. That's exactly what I said up there when I gave my speech. I said, God is an awesome God. He's absolutely amazing. And that was the only thing I felt in that moment. It was so unreal to me, knowing like everything I've done to get this film like up, everything I've done, everything I've sacrificed, essentially I don't try this at home, but I sacrificed a full quarter of school
He really
for
did.
this film. I'm talking,
Oh, we got on him. So
oh man,
we got on him.
sacrificed a full quarter of school, and I came back in the fourth quarter good, because I was good first and second. Third quarter, it was time to film, and then nope, I'm everything out the way. I gotta focus, and then when I get locked in, I really get locked in to the point where it's almost dangerous. Don't talk to me when I'm locked in, because you're gonna think I'm mad at you. You get what I'm saying? Like, don't talk to me when I'm locked in, because you're gonna get your feelings hurt talking to me when I'm locked in. I get into this mode. I call it my Noah Brooks mode. I get deep into that mode where I'm not playing about nothing. Everything has to get done accordingly.
There you go.
You get what I'm saying? So it definitely was it was unreal. And it was a lot of emotions running through my body at that moment. I didn't really know how to just put them all out there, because it was like everything I had been through, when I started filming Outcast, I created the first little storyboard for this in December. And I finished it in around April, May, a 6-month project that took so much of me and so much of my energy and so much of my time. It didn't even feel like hard work in a way. After I was done, I was like, okay, let's write a new film. Even my dad and mom, they were like, yo, enjoy this. I'm like, no, let's write a new film. You know what I'm saying? Let's get back to work. No, relax. We gonna write a new. No, let's work. Even during the International Film Festival, I was storyboarding for Outcast too. Even during the International Film Festival, I was still basking in the ambience of being into this film festival. I'm like, let's write another film. Even going back to school, writing another film, I was not worried about nothing. What's the next project? What's the next? Because one thing that I really enjoy about this process is the work. Being able to cast people, talk to people about their characters, film, choreographing fight scenes. Like, I learned how to choreograph fight scenes by watching Jean-Claude Van Damme and Bruce Lee. That's how I learned how to choreograph. And then I kind of just envisioned it all in my head. And then, growing up, I've been training in Shotokan karate since I was 2 years old. And utilizing all those skills coming up, I just put it into a movie in my head, and I basically just took it out on screen. You know what I'm saying? So it was definitely a lot to process winning that festival. A lot.
Well, just like it was a lot, like I said, when you accepted the award and you got up there, it's not that anybody else didn't, but I felt your energy just being the most genuine, the most like surprised, the most unexpected, And I was like, nah, I gotta connect with him again.
I
And
appreciate
so
that.
you're more than welcome. I'm looking forward to all the future projects that you got going on. I'm looking forward to all the future projects that you got going on. This is your camera. This is your time. Full name, Instagram, everything that anybody can find you at. Here's your time. Make sure they know where to find you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Marvin Demetrius Talbert Jr. Well, AKA Noah Brooks. You know, I've actually, due to the help of my dad and my aunt and my mom and my family and such, I've actually became a signed actor. I've recently just signed with Dot Rich Talent under Gregory Osborne, you know, W manager, you know, and it's time to get this journey started. You can find me on Instagram at GDubMagic. It will eventually be changed to I am Noah Brooks. So if you can't find GDubMagic, you'll be able to find I am Noah Brooks. That's lowercase I am Noah Brooks. And I'm going to say that one more time. I am Noah Brooks. And I'm declaring that here today, right now. Thank you to everyone who was here during this process. Thank you. Thank God. Thank you for Uncle Boom and my aunt and, you know, my mom and my dad for being here throughout this process. It was definitely an emotional roller coaster, but we still got through it at the end of the day. That's it. Peace.
That's it, man. That's Marvin. That's Crystal. That's producer Baif. And this is the House of Boom. We are out. Peace.